say I'm shooting shots straight to the point, just like the podcast. Other teams, they run into my shooters, cause we got that. I killed the game and left the court with no condolence. I'm still gonna shoot my shot, no matter how big the moment is. She ain't like when Jay Best get on that phone. Yeah. You watch it from the TVs in your homes. Yeah. They finna like and sub and leave a comment down below. Yeah.
Which is our NFC East breakdown, guys. We're breaking down one division per week, all right? And we did the NFC South, we did the NFC West, and now we're about to do, we did the NFC North, we did the NFC West, and now we're going to do the NFC East. Real, let me know how this division will go this year.
Yes, sir. I think this will be another really, really good, hard-fought division. I think every single game will play and hold a lot of weight. But to start off with the 4th seed, I'm going with the New York Giants. They were really, really well improved this offseason. Really good in the draft. Got rid of Dexter Lawrence, who I'm sure they aren't going to miss. He only had half a sack last year, but they got way better on offense, and they're going to get their offensive superstar back and Malik Neighbors. And they also added to that offense. So it's going to be really, really fun seeing that. But to move on, I just think the Giants, Jackson Dart, he showed a lot of really, really good football, but he's going to be the worst quarterback in the division this year. And that's not saying a lot because he's in the division he's arguably in the best QB division in football. But moving on to the 3rd seed, this is where it gets tricky because Dallas and Washington are kind of on the same level to me. But I'm going to give Washington the 3rd seed. And that 3rd seed could still be a wild card team, but
I was about to say, cause that's your boy JD5. Do you have him missing the playoffs, or you think?
No, I'm giving Jaden Daniels the same treatment you give Caleb Williams. Like he has that superstar home run hitter treatment. He can win any game because he's that good. So I think he will end up being the 3rd seed. But we've seen him in the past. We've seen him be able to surprise us and take the 2nd seed and go all the way to the conference championship. But my prediction has him being in the 3rd seed. I just think on a talent level wise, I think the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles are way better than the Commanders. So that's why I have them being in the 3rd seed. But on top of that, I just think that defense is still really, really bad. Like they added Sonny Styles and they overpaid on the D lineman.
Clevon Chasen.
Yes, Clevon Chasen, but that's not really no game-changing players. You know what I'm saying? They're still going to be bad on the defensive side of the ball. So I just think that's where they're going to be held back at. Then moving on to the 2nd seed, I have the Dallas Cowboys. I think they're really, really well improved, and I honestly think Caleb Downs is going to be an absolute animal for that defense. Mm-hmm. I think he'll probably be the defensive rookie of the year, and he'll be that reason that defense is at least a top 15 defense. Then you look at that offense. I'm confident in saying that is the best receiving core in the NFL. When you talk about George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, 2 true number 1 receivers. You look at all the other receiver duos in the league. They're a bunch of number 1s and 2s, but these are 2 number 1s, 2 true number 1s, and they showed that last year. They were impossible to stop. So I feel like if you give them just a little bit more defense and you give Dak that same offense they had last year, they're going to be a lot better. And you have to think this is going to be another year under their head coach. This is going to be the 2nd year under their head coach, so their head coach got time to get his feet wet. He got time to get underneath Jerry Jones's system because Jerry Jones is not a regular owner. He's in that building 7 days a week, always in the press, always in the trades. Yep. He has everything to do with the front office. So he had some time to really understand that organization. Then moving on to the 1st seed, I think this will be a unanimous decision across the board. I got the Philadelphia Eagles winning the division again. You just look at the team from top to bottom. I think they have the best offensive player in the division. I think they have the best defensive player in the division, and they're the best coach in the division. You just got to be real. And in terms of depth, they have the best depth in the division. So I really think that Mekhi Lemon addition in the draft is going to play dividends. You add that to Devonta Smith. We all forget that Devonta Smith was the Heisman winner. I want to say around 6 years ago from about right now, Devonta Smith was going absolutely nuts in Alabama, going crazy. So why can't we see that Devonta Smith now? So I think, that, like I said, this will be a very competitive division, but that's how I see it playing out.
All right, so we got Giants, we got Commanders, Dallas, Eagles. For real, Jared, how you got this division breaking down?
When it comes to this division, um, these teams all made a little bit of moves to make them more contenders. At least the teams like Dallas, the Giants, the Commanders, the teams that are chasing the Eagles. But at fourth, I do have the Commanders. I am very uncertain about Jaden Daniels. I am, and I am uncertain about that offense as a whole. Yeah, you have your guy in Terry McLaurin, but that's about it. Like their second option, Debo Samuel, he's a free agent. Brandon Ayuk is at the facility, but he's not even under contract. Like I don't know. It's weird. Like Brandon Ayuk wants to be a Commander so bad, they're not gonna let him. I don't know. There's a lot of question marks around the team. Can Jaden Daniels be healthy? Are they gonna have a wide receiver too? Can Terry McLaurin stay healthy? Terry McLaurin was actually hurt for a lot of the season last year. Is this defense going to be better than they were? So I think there's just too many question marks for this team. So I do have them finishing last in the division. Next up, I have the Giants. I think that this Giants team, they have a. I think when it comes to the difference between ceilings and floors in this division, I think the Giants have the highest between the differences of their ceiling and their floor. It's the biggest in the division. Like their ceiling can be very, very high. They can make a playoff run like we saw the Commanders make a couple years ago, but at the same time, their ceiling can be very low because a lot depends on Jackson Dart. It depends on Malik Neighbors' health. We're going to see a lot this season from this team. So I do have them finishing third in the division. Second, I have the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas's only problem has been Dak Prescott when it matters the most. So, which is really only playoff time. Like regular season, he's a great quarterback. And then their defense. Well, right now we're just going based off of the regular season, and they made some moves to get their defense better. I think they have a generational talent in Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs was the best safety, honestly, since he stepped on the field in college. He's an All-American his first season. As a freshman at Alabama, he was on the field making plays. Like, that's what this kind of guy is. He transferred to Ohio State, made big noise still, helped them get a national championship. So I think that having him, that really helps his defense. I think that his defense is going to improve from what they did last year. Like, you can only get better. They were like the worst defense in the league last year. So you can only get better. And they made moves to get better. And I think that they will be able to do that. Mind you, last season, I want to say, I don't know if it was last season, early in the offseason, they did trade for a defensive lineman from New York, right? Did they get a guy from the Giants?
Quentin Williams.
Quentin Williams. So you got some help up front. You got help in the back with Caleb Downs. So I think that like this team's potential, as long as their defense can be somewhat nice, like we can see from this team what we saw out of the Bengals the year they went to the Super Bowl. Like Rose said, look at the receiving core. You have George Pickens and you have CeeDee Lamb. These are two guys that, mind you, CeeDee Lamb only played 14 games. He still had 1,000 receiving yards. George Pickens was third in receiving yards. So this team, if they can put it all together, they can really be some competition for the Philadelphia Eagles to win the division. And then, of course, the division winners, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. I think, they're going to bounce back to what they were. I think that this is like we saw in the past from them. They went to the Super Bowl. The very next season, they lost in the wild card round to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we saw the meltdown happen in the season. This year, they lost to the San Francisco 49ers. We saw the meltdown happening in the regular season. So I think that they have the offseason to get back to where they were. You removed A.J. Brown from the locker room. That's a big move. You still have Devontae Smith. You drafted Mekhi Lemon. You signed Hollywood Brown. Like you made moves to improve this wide receiver room. And I just think that, you still got Saquon Barkley. Hopefully the offensive line will be healthy. Like the talent is still there, guys. And you have Jalen Hurts, who is a winner. So the talent is still there. They still have talent on defense. So I definitely see this Philadelphia Eagles team winning this division again.
All right. So we got Commanders, Giants, Cowboys, Eagles for Jarek. All right. So my breakdown, starting number 4. I don't want to do this, but I feel like I have to. The Commanders got to be number 4. Jaden Daniels, I believe in him. I just don't believe that the team has operated as if, okay, we found our guy. Let's surround him with the most talent we could possibly do. Because going into this year, his best weapon is Terry McLaurin. Going into last year, his best weapon is Terry McLaurin, right? Debo Samuel was a shell of himself. I don't think that was the same Debo Samuel that we saw in San Francisco. Be it the system, be it whatever you want to call it, but that was not the same Debo Samuel. And also Jaden Daniels was hurt. But Debo Samuel is gone. And I'm looking at Luke McCaffrey, Antonio Williams, Traylon Burke, Diami Brown, Jalen Lane. Like, it's not a lot of talent in that receiver room, in my opinion, outside of Terry McLaurin. And your starting running back is Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, who we all call Bill. Like, I just don't see the firepower in this offense that Jaden Daniels need, because he's a guy that needs that firepower. Talked about Caleb Williams. These two guys are guys that can throw it around the entire game, but they got to have guys to throw it to. And I don't think he does. So that doesn't maximize the potential. And like Rail said, the defense to me is still not where it needs to be. I mean, you made a good pick with Sonny Styles, no doubt. But looking at the defense as a whole, you can only stop but so much. I don't think that you're going to be able to stop the Eagles. I don't think you're going to be able to stop the Cowboys. You're not going to be able to stop. To me, the Giants will give you some trouble because your defense is not that good. So now it's too much pressure on Jaden Daniels. And from what I heard, Dan Quinn wants to dial it back. Let's run more of a pro-style offense to protect Jaden Daniels. So if we're not going to surround Jaden Daniels with a lot of weapons and tell Jaden Daniels to kind of dial it back a little bit in terms of usage, then the offense won't be as dynamic as it once was, and the defense is struggling. So I think it's just, like Jerry said, too many question marks in that organization for me to be confident. I'm going to throw in a wild card here, and I'm going to put the Cowboys at number 3. I think this Cowboys team, what we saw last year, was an offensive juggernaut with no defense at all, right? If they had half of a defense, then they would be better, right? They would have probably made the playoffs if they had better defense last year for sure, because the offense was unstoppable. But when I look at this defense this year, you added Rashawn Gary. Guys, this addition to me means nothing because Rashawn Gary just played beside Micah Parsons. We all know how real I feel about Micah Parsons, one of the best edge rushers in the league, correct? One of the best players in the league. Well, Rashawn Gary had 0 sacks from the 2nd of November to the rest of the season. He had no more sacks. Mind you, Micah Parsons got hurt in that Denver game, but that was the last 3 games Micah Parsons got hurt. Before that, he had no sacks. How are you not getting sacks playing beside Micah Parsons? All the attention is on Micah Parsons. The pass protection is sliding to Micah Parsons' side, and you can't take advantage of the one-on-ones. That means you're not that good of a player. Sorry. Rashawn Gary, your best days are probably behind you. I'm sorry. Based on the evidence, that's not a great addition in my opinion. And then we look at this secondary, Jared, I believe that the guy that teams were picking on in the Rams secondary, wasn't that Kobe Durant, or am I tripping?
Yeah, he was one of them. Yeah,
it was Kobe Durant, right? Well, Kobe Durant is the addition they made outside of Caleb Downs. They have Kobe Durant now beside Deron Bland. Deron Bland got exposed this past year, right? Kobe Durant got exposed this past year. So your cornerback room is still below average. Yes, adding Caleb Downs is going to help. It's going to eliminate the biggest plays. But you still got to have some guys that can play one-on-one coverage. You still got to have corners that can take care of their business. You don't have that. So this defense will get better. It has no choice but to get better. But how better will it get? I don't know. And now we're expecting Dak Prescott to replicate what he did last year, which is a question mark, right? Dak Prescott hasn't been the healthiest over the past 5-6 years. So now we're playing with, okay, can you get through a season? This is very similar to the Bengals, in my opinion. The defense got better, but now we need Dak Prescott to still play at a high level because the defense is not that great. Same with the Bengals. The Bengals defense got better, but we still need Joe Burrow to play at a high level because their defense isn't that great. So it's kind of the same thing, but I just think that the Cowboys will fall to 3. And it's not really their fault. It's just how I feel about this Giants team, who I have at number 2. They had the best hire this offseason in John Harbaugh. They had, to me, a really good free agency period. I'm talking additions like Isaiah Likely, Patrick Ricard. You had Tremaine Edmonds join the defense. At the wide receiver position, Malik Neighbors might not start the season off, right? We don't know yet. But you added Darnell Mooney, you added Calvin Austin Jr. Those are 2 solid receivers. And for what it's worth, you added Odell Beckham Jr., you added Juju Smith-Schuster. Now, Juju and Odell more so, I don't know. Because your injury history, are you the same? This, that, and another. They say he looked great in the little camp they had recently. but we got to see it on the regular football field. But with Juju, Calvin, and Darnell Mooney, all three of those guys, we can agree they can contribute to any team, right? If you can use Calvin right, Jerick said it all the time. If you can use Calvin Austin the correct way, you have yourself a nice little, a nice gem, a hidden gem right there, Calvin Austin. So I like the weapons they put around Jackson Dart. Cam Scatterbo coming back. Malik Neighbors will be back at some point. Defensively, to me, you made a great move whenever you got Arvell Reese in the draft. Arvell Reese is a guy you can move all around. Jerick had Brian Burns in his top 10 players last week. Right, so you still got Spider-Man on that defensive line. You still have Abdul Carter, who we're waiting to blossom. Javon Holland. You have Greg Newsome, who you added this offseason. This team made some good moves. All right, and I think that last year Jackson Dart made do with what he had. This year, the weapons are automatically better. I have the Giants making the playoffs this year. Real quick comparison to kind of give you like proof that I think this is going to work. The Patriots, Jerick and Rail. Last year was Drake May's second year, right? They hired a proven head coach in Mike Vrabel, right? Mm-hmm. And they made really good moves in free agency, right? Fast forward to this year. What the Giants do? They made a proven coach hire in John Harbaugh, right? This is Jackson Dart's second year, right? And in free agency, they spent some money, right? So it looks like the same equation in my honest opinion. So I think this could be, and I'm not saying they're going to do what the Patriots did last year. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is I could see that jump from being a bad team to being a good team real quick with the moves that was made this offseason. Then number one, we had the Philadelphia Eagles. The Jalen Hurts disrespect got to stop at some point, and I think he's going to make y'all stop. He's going to make y'all stop this year. I already said it a couple episodes ago. He is my dark horse MVP this year. I think that with A.J. Brown being gone, guys, the proof is in the pudding. Was he at A.J. Brown's wedding, yes or no? Negative. Nope. I just saw him boot scooting at Devontae Smith wedding this past 2 weeks or whatever it was. Like, clearly, there was a relationship fallout with him and AJ Brown. You and your number one receiver now on the same page, and y'all are supposed to produce every week. Like, that is, I'm not saying that that's a big excuse. What I'm saying is it's not nothing. You can't act like they're supposed to just move around the season like ain't nothing happened. When clearly there's a falling out that's beyond football. If I'm not going to your wedding for crying out loud, I'm going to my other receiver wedding. So clearly it was a distraction. Jordan Mailata, as I said, came out on Twitter or was an interview and said, thank God it's over when AJ Brown got traded because it was a problem. It was a distraction. Last year, the offensive line was not healthy. Saquon Barkley did not have a productive year because of the offensive line. And then defensively, so I'm assuming that's going to improve. Defensively, you add Jonathan Grenard to be on that D-line with Jalen Carter, with Nolan Smith, with Jordan Davis. You still got Zach Bond, who is a first-team all-pro kind of guy. You added Tariq Woolen to the secondary with Cooper DeJean, with Quinyon Mitchell. Like, I think that this is a really good team. Like, there is no fall-off. Cool, A.J. Brown left, but I still got Dallas Goedert. Still got Devontae Smith. Added Mekhi Lemon, who we all think is going to be a nice player in this league. You still got Hollywood. You got Dontavian Wicks, right? So I think, and Saquon Barkley. So, and then of course Jalen Hurts. So this is going to be a good team. Also, Jalen Hurts got a brand new OC that they have already hit it off to begin with. So, like what I'm saying from Philly, I think they can definitely run it back and win this division. All right. But that is it from the Straight to the Point podcast today, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you want more content from us or daily content from us, hit the follow button on any of those accounts at the bottom of the screen, Instagram, Facebook, and on TikTok. All right. And also, if you like this video, you like what you saw today, hit that subscribe button. All right. Turn on notifications so that when we post a video, you can see them. All right. But that's it from your boy Jay Best, your boy Rel, and your boy Jerick. Y'all stay blessed. Till next time, we out.
Yo, they finna like and sub and leave a comment down below. Yo.